Racers, welcome to the eRacing Association, where you have the chance to win $5,000 in one of the best tournaments in all of sim racing. Green flag in the air.
Are you ready to reach the next level of sim racing? The eRacing Association's epic Omega Cup Series lets you win big.
Is he gonna throw the block?
Racing with ERA lets you compete for huge cash prizes, get exclusive merch, exclusive sim hardware pricing, and potentially turn your virtual dreams into reality. Feel the rush as you race door to door against sim racers just like yourself, all from the comfort of your own home.
Straight away, they're an idiot. Oh, they're wrecking! They're wrecking!
Join now to get your membership and experience all of the excitement that the eRacing Association has to offer at www.eragaming.gg.
Celebration, he hangs on.
Oh my God! Son, this is a Navy base, not a playground.
Sir, have a look.
So you think you got what it takes to fly with the Navy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you one shot. Bring him in.
Hey, can I get another cocktail?
Gentlemen, you are here because NASCAR wants you to have a street race on this base.
Hey, this is pretty sick, huh?
Oh, you think this is sick? If you want to race here, you got to show honor, courage, and commitment. You boys think you know speed? You haven't felt real speed. They're gonna flip you. They're gonna twist you. And just when you think you've reached your limit, they're gonna punch a hole in the sky and drag you with them.
Hey, Clarke, you gonna do stuff with that pilot shit? Can't be any worse than you're driving. Sick bird, Peaches.
Speaking of sick,
The Burnette carpenter's not gonna like that. Hey, boys, I feel the need. I feel the need. Seriously, guys. Need for speed. Does this thing go any faster? Oh, shit! Hell yeah, boy!
Not bad up there, gentlemen. But let's see how you handle this next mission. This is NASCAR street course, and that is the Navy security force. You make it to the finish line without getting caught, and you have my respect.
look at this turn right
We need to split up.
Let's just steal one of these fucking helicopters over here.
Dude, we're so done.
We're screwed.
You have to go this way. Thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Why did we not bring SVG?
Guys, I got an idea.
Lights on. You think we can outrun them?
It ain't the car, it's the driver.
Man, this course is sick. Boys, we're almost to the finish line. We lost him. We got him.
Gentlemen, we set the standard, and you matched it. And I am pleased to say that you belong here with us on this sacred ground.
Let's get to work on bringing NASCAR to the Navy.
So we've been in Charlotte all week long. It's incredible. The whole industry has really been super supportive for NASCAR 25, and we've had 8 or 9 drivers trying the game, and you know, to us, it's just another step in the process of making a great game, right? You want to get their feedback, you want to implement some of the things that they give you pointers on. So enjoy some of the clips of these guys playing the game and just kind of what we went through this week. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We just got done playing NASCAR 25. I would say it's probably the most realistic Xbox PS5 game that I've played. I grew up playing all the old games through my childhood, and it was pretty awesome to be able to kind of get on again, and looking forward to when it comes out.
I mean, the physics, I used to play a lot of games, and NASCAR games, and the physics on this game is above and beyond all of them. So initial thoughts are really good.
I was blown away by how realistic the game was, and just going through the couple tracks that I ran, like seeing how true the repave was at Iowa, and the new asphalt lines up with what we have in real life. The grip levels were accurate, impressive.
It's really cool, like seeing myself in a video game. That means a lot for me, because like I never imagined like saw me in a video game, and made me feel like the first time when I jumped in a car, it was the same feeling.
Well, the first time seeing myself was, I mean, you dream about those moments, right? I mean, growing up and playing video games, like I said, 2K or anybody, and playing as LeBron James or doing something, right? You want to take your my player to the top of the, and have the overall, the 99 overall, you know? So now I get to do that for myself. I'm gonna be on that game 24/7.
For the first time ever, there's a whole new level of authenticity to the NASCAR game with the actual track scans and the car physics, which is going to bring fans closer to the sport.
You can definitely tell that iRacing had a significant impact on this game, from the driving characteristics to the audio, the visuals. You can tell the footprint that iRacing had on this platform, and it's a great thing because it just shows how next level video games can be.
iRacing is huge, so just the opportunity for it to go to a game console is also just a great opportunity for people that love racing or just trying to do it for fun and maybe trying to get into it.
I think the first game that I probably played was NASCAR 05. Got that game, actually had it on PSP at the time, and then played it on console as well, so that's really how I got started, and my friends said that I took the game way too seriously.
As a kid growing up, I was a big time NASCAR video gamer and would love getting to explore all the different tracks and see what they're about, and going to Pocono and realizing it's a triangle and how Loudon, New Hampshire is really flat, and just seeing all the variety of different racetracks.
This game from the driver's perspective is what it needs to be. I mean, myself in my own career, there's just that energy level when you walk into the racetrack and you hear the engines and practice starts. There's just that feel that you get when you get in your race suit, you hop in the truck.
I'll never forget it, my first ever time at Daytona, when I rolled into the garage and they put my car on 4 jack stands and they raise up the hood, and all you hear is the guns going on the tires, the guys working on the car, the spotter, crew chief talking. Like, it took me away because it felt like I've been in that situation before, and it actually was like I'm actually living this moment that I played in the game a million of times. So now to be in this game even more elevated, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's definitely huge.
I can't thank these drivers enough. This week has been super special for all of us to come down here and shoot this content and get their feedback. We've had a long relationship with a lot of these guys, and I'm so excited. Even ones we've just met this trip. The passion that they have and the excitement that they have to get this game out and in the market is super exciting. In case you haven't heard, October 14th, that's our launch date. So we're gonna open pre-orders and we're gonna get you that gameplay trailer that you guys are all begging for about a month before. So stay tuned, we got a lot more information coming on the game for NASCAR 25.
Visit NASCAR25.com for more information on the game, and make sure you follow us on social media at NASCAR25Game.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls. Time to turn the intensity up. Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is Indiana. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You're gonna say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines.
This is what this sport's all about right here. Big moments like this.
That was a dangerous shot.
The gate opens, all bets are off, and you better react. Like, this is a picture-perfect driving.
This is what makes the difference.
Well, there you have it. This crowd just got to witness greatness.
This is what this sport's all about right here. Big moments like this.
That was a dangerous shot.
The gate opens, all bets are off, and you better react. Like, this is a picture-perfect driving.
This is what makes the difference.
Well, there you have it. This crowd just got to witness greatness.
Hey guys, I'm Indian next champion Dennis Hauger, and you're watching Drafting the Circuits.
How was it in the car?
No, I mean, I would say George was also quick. I think most of it was just done in the beginning, right? Just your starting position, and then you you just do your lap times. But around here, it's not easy to be constantly on the limit with the track layout, the wind as well, because all your lap time is on entry, and that is also the most risky part of the track. If you just overshoot it a bit, you're in the wall. So finding that limit is tough. I mean, the car was working well, the deck was good. Yeah, in general, just quite straightforward. But at the same time, yeah, what was it, like 14 seconds? But yeah, for us, 2 race weekends have been amazing.
I mean, a lot of the work was done yesterday with your qualifying lap, but how much of this, we know the floor, you had a new floor come in recently. Has that had a big impact, or is too much emphasis being put on that? Are there lots of areas around the car?
I think it's just a combination of a lot of things that are going better in the last few weeks. So we understood a bit more about the car. Of course, it's low down for tracks, right? So we have to wait and see how we're going to perform again on a high deck. But yeah, for now, we're just very happy with what we're doing. And then we'll just find out now the upcoming races how that will kind of layouts.
I know you ruled yourself out of the Drivers' Championship a long time ago, but at the moment, with performances like this, and if McLaren have a bad weekend, do you still look at it that way, or do you? 7 races to go, and it's still 69 points. But basically, everything needs to go perfect from my side. So it's still very tough.
JD Vance.
I think we started, Frank. I think we've.
We're live. Hello.
How'd you get
Hi,
out
Frank.
of my... What's up?
We're live on the.
We started.
Huh?
We're live.
That wasn't a thumbs up about JD Vance. That was the thumbs up to say the show started.
Yeah, we're starting. You gotta do your intro thing.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
I know you were absent last week,
missed
but we
that,
gotta do it.
So, all right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drafting the Circus, brought to you by Sinister One Productions. I'm your host, Frank Santarossi, who evidently took 1 week off and forgot how to host the show. But I'm back. I do want to thank all you that called and visited me in the hospital. But here I am back on the air. Yep, joining me, Levi, Chezrony, Richard Uden. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, thanks.
Good.
I'm doing real good, buddy. Good to see you back in the hot seat. That's for sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming back, saving us.
I thought my introduction was bad last week, so I'm okay now.
It took me a couple of minutes to figure out that you were telling me we were on the air. So anyway, let's thank our sponsors, the ERA Racing, Jesse Iwuji, Emmit Smith, NASCAR on Fox, San Diego 2026, iRacing, NASCAR 25. You saw another one of those developer videos on there, and we've got somebody promised to come on the show, just waiting to hear back on a date. Tell us all about that game. Citizen One Productions will be live at the PBR events in Manchester and in Boston. I'd also like to thank Million Podcasts for the awards they've given us. So let's get into the sad news of the week. Robert Clarke, who was the founder of Honda Racing Development in the United States, passed away of a heart attack. You may not have heard of him, but he's very instrumental behind Honda's racing programs in the U.S., both INDYCAR series and their motorcycle programs as well. And he's the guy that started that. They now operate as, I believe they're called Honda Racing Corporation USA, but they started out as Honda Racing Development. And everybody in INDYCAR knew this guy. This guy was universally liked. He was a brilliant guy, a hard worker. He really, he did amazing things. Took Honda from, coming into the series not knowing what they were doing, failing to qualify for the Indy 500, to now I think that Honda's got 17 Indy 500 wins and 295 INDYCAR wins, and been a strong force within INDYCAR since then. So people are missing that guy. Yeah, a lot of folks that I know within the series, and some journalist folks have posted some nice tributes about Robert Clarke. So Robert, we're thinking about your friends, your family, those you worked with, those whose lives you touched. Rest in peace. All right, so Richard, 2 Grand Prix in a row where Oscar Piastri is dropping points. And
Yep.
we were at Baku, Azerbaijan this past weekend, which has kind of become one of my favorite tracks.
Yep.
I really enjoy that track. So
Oscar doesn't think it's a favorite track because he didn't want to race, so he just crashed out. No, I don't want to race here this weekend. I'll just crash.
Well, I think all of McLaren kind of faltered this week, and they're actually, there's enough races left that Max Verstappen could still win his championship.
Yep.
It's a long shot, but look at Max's, look at Max's record, and you can't count him out.
No.
Piastri's shooting himself in the foot
especially when you've got both McLarens fighting against each other.
Didn't go, and then he hit the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, his whole Grand Prix was over within the matter.
And he screwed up qualifying as well. So
he hit the wall in qualifying. So Richard, why
it
don't
was
you
a
go
pretty
ahead?
messy weekend.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and take us through it? I understand it was another master class at the front by Mr. Verstappen.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't see it every week like we have for the last 4 or 5 years, I think you value it a little bit more. You put emphasis and acknowledgement onto the guy's skill. I think when you see it every week, it becomes a little repetitive and boring, and you don't fully acknowledge what he's doing. But as you say, masterclass. And it all boiled down to qualifying, really. The qualifying was messy. There was some rain in the air, low grip. Guys were a little bit out of sync, a little bit out of sequence, trying to find some clear track at the right time. A lot of red. I think it was 8 red flags in qualifying, which is the most in a current F1 qualifying setup. So, it was all a little messy. And it certainly helped produce a jumbled grid. You saw Carlos Sainz up in P2. And Liam Lawson was up there as well. So a real mixed bag in qualifying. But, you expected to a certain extent, some of the McLarens to push through the field during the race, and they didn't really. It was a little bit mundane, in all fairness, by them. And, I think Oscar will be pretty relieved to come away from the race, which is arguably probably one of the worst races of his career. Not great in qualifying.
Well, yeah, finishing last and not completing a lap. You can't get much worse than that.
Well, he could not start the race, I guess. But even so,
he came close to doing that.
Yeah. So he'll be hoping that he's got all of his bad luck out the way in one one foul swoop there, and he can progress on to Singapore and regroup. Singapore will be a very interesting race. I think Singapore last year was the point where we realised that McLaren had something seriously good up their sleeve. They were incredibly dominant at Singapore last year. I can't remember what the winning margin was, but it was about 30 seconds over Verstappen. And that was like, oh, okay, that's more than just found a good setup here. This is something legitimate, and of course they carried that over into the 2025 season. But I do think that the FIA and Pirelli really need to sit down and come up with a way of eliminating these one-stop races, and not in the way we did at Monaco, because that all got a little bit silly. But it doesn't do any good for the racing in reality, and we need the uncertainty of the pit stops. We need the the strategy in there. We need drivers pushing as hard as they can rather than just trying to preserve tires. So give them something that they can drive, but also give them something where we can have multiple stops. Because I think it adds so much more to the races when you have that.
Races are won and lost in the pits. I mean, how many times have you heard that?
For sure, exactly. But as as you say, as you said earlier, Frank, Baku is certainly becoming one of my favourite tracks. I think as a street circuit, it's fantastic because unlike say a Singapore and a Monaco, which are very similar in terms of layout in some ways. Baku are similar to Vegas. They're quick tracks, and the drivers are compromising car performance in terms of trimming out the wing and wanting to run as fast as they can, but also, not wanting to hit the barriers. And the race was pretty clean. There's a few scuffles, a few brushes with the wall, but on the whole. The race was pretty clean, but during practice qualifying, they certainly pushed the limit, which is what you want to see from drivers. You want to see drivers make mistakes. You want to see them. You want to turn around and go, yeah, that guy has won the race, and he over the course of a weekend, was driving at 99.9%. Every lap. That's what you want to see, and Baku brings that out in the drivers for me. So yeah, really, really good weekend. As you say. Verstappen's only 65 points, and if he wins every race between now and the end of the season, and some other fall off of results between the McLaren guys, especially as they're still fighting with each other over this.
Yeah.
It's not like McLaren have turned around and can put all their eggs in one basket. They're still pushing each other, and that's when mistakes happen, as you see. So yeah. Bring it on.
yeah. So let's talk about Carlos Sainz for a second, because people are absolutely delighted with the fact that he put a Williams in the podium. Williams hasn't been on the podium in what, a good 10 years, maybe more.
Well, they had that George Russell P2 at the cancelled Belgian Grand Prix when it rained. So that was their last official podium. But in terms of real pace. I mean, I'm not going to say the last time they had a podium was when I was working there, but, just saying.
Might have been, right?
I mean, coincidental? Like I don't know. So.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's been a good while. And you know what? The really nice thing about it is it's not some fluke podium. This was, this has been the culmination really of the last 2 or 3 years of hard work. Well, probably longer, but, in real terms, 2 or 3 years of hard work with, and look, I'll be honest. When they announced James Vowles as team principal, I raised a few eyebrows, mine included. I think, the guys obviously had a lot of experience at Mercedes, working around arguably one of the best team principals we've ever had in Toto Wolff, and some other extremely talented leaders, Niki Lauda, guys like that. But it's a big jump from going head of strategy and head of driver development to team principal. It's a big jump. But they've empowered him, they've entrusted him, they've given him the resources that he needs. And, he's done a fantastic job there. And I know people that still work there and say, great things about his leadership and what he's doing and how he's bringing the best out of the drivers and the teams and the resources that they have available to them. So yeah, as much, I think the fact that they were able to sign Carlos Sainz in the first place is testament to him, to him as a team principal, because team principal's the figurehead. He's the guy that does negotiation with the drivers and the sponsors and all that. So for him to be able to lure a driver of Carlos Sainz's caliber said a lot about him, and it's great to see them finally fulfilling that potential.
Yeah, and then to listen to Carlos on the radio when he gets podium, that's absolute raw emotion right there.
Oh, for sure.
For third place, which and that's a testament to the hard work that team is doing.
Oh,
but here's the interesting thing, though. A lot of people have brought this stat up that Sainz is now the only guy since Alain Prost to win podiums at
years
Keith
in New
coming
York.
back again here.
10 years in New York City or in New York. But yeah, so I have so many pictures to have him I can't even share with you guys. But yeah, there's when Penske went to the White House.
We're live. Okay, guys, we're back.
Okay, never mind.
Evidently, we had a car accident take out the internet here in the front of Sinister One Production studio.
People often describe this show as a car crash, but somebody took that too literally.
Yeah,
but we've got alternate. Get back to our conversation. We talked probably a good 10 minutes. So let's talk about with the podium for Williams. And
it was back at 2016 with Massa and Bottas.
Yeah,
I believe. I'm trying to think. I don't think they had one with Sorokin and those guys, whoever it was, when they had the pay drivers. Merrigan. And yeah, you know, as somebody that used to work there, I have a very, very soft spot for them, and you know, I know a lot of people do as well with their history in the sport, but you know, it's with all of the, you know, new manufacturers kicking around and all of the big money that they're throwing into it, the fact that you know, still the competitive is still quite a romantic one.
Yeah, and a lot of folks are making a big deal about the fact that you know, Carlos Sainz is the only guy since Alain Prost to stand on a podium for Williams, Ferrari feet. But you know, somebody had posed a question on one of these Facebook groups and said, "Hey, I wonder which driver has had the podiums with the most teams." You know, a lot of folks thought it would be Prost, who has podiums with 4 different teams, because other than those 3 I mentioned, he's got podiums with Renault. Some people think it could be Alonso, but that depends on whether or not you want to count Alpine and Renault as 2 separate teams or the same team. But I'm like, hey, y'all missing the obvious one here. This is me, Gen X guy, who's been around a little longer than the young whippersnappers here, right? So Ricardo Patrese had, you know, podiums for 5 different teams: Arrows, Brabham, Alfa Romeo, Williams, and Benetton. Yeah, I'm sure no Ferrari or McLaren, but 5 different teams. You know, that guy had a very long career. You know, for a while he was the guy with the most Formula One starts. But you know, as we get more and more into the modern era where there's more races a year and this and that, you know, record has long since been eclipsed. So, all right, other Formula One news, Richard. Christian Horner officially 100% out at Red Bull, $100 million
better
richer.
Off. Yeah.
And I mean, what do you think? Where does he end up?
It'll be interesting. I wonder what the clauses, you know, the clauses are in that break. You know, you'd imagine that there's, you know, some sort of clause that says, well, you know, he was contracted through to the end of 2030, I think it was, with Red Bull. So it wouldn't surprise me if they don't do a, hey, you know, here's your $100 million. We're going to pay you it monthly, but if you get another job, we're going to stop paying you. So
I don't know. I was under the impression of you know, by one of the articles I read that he was cleared by the FIA to go ahead and look for work.
Well, maybe so. Maybe so.
So yeah, we'll just have to see how that develops.
But
he
you know,
would
Alpine's
certainly be an
obviously
asset.
yeah. I mean, Alpine's obviously you know, somewhere that you would see him fitting in potentially. You know, they don't have a real team. I mean, they've also got Fabio Briatore, but you know, he's not a long-term solution to the team principal role. And you know, they're obviously looking to develop and improve and be competitive. So yeah, he's got the potential, I think, to go there. That's in reality, that's probably the only team I could see him going to, that doesn't have the egos and the corporate nature. I think he's been bitten by the corporate side of Red Bull, so I don't think he would go to an Audi. I don't
you see
think
him branching
go...
out, maybe going to sports cars or Indy cars, or
I think I think the level he's at, I think it's all or nothing on the F1 front.
Yeah.
I think that I think there's two. I don't think he'd go to Aston Martin. I don't think he'd be prepared to work for the Stroll family. I think Lawrence Stroll is too much of a power within that organization, and I don't think he'd want to play the role of a yes man. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up or what he does, but it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't come back. If he stays away for good now, or gets a role within the FIA, or takes up that FIA presidency role. I mean, if people will be worried about some controversy with him, then they haven't seen who's currently head of the FIA, have they? So I think he could do a good job there.
Yeah. Jessica Lee, do you guys have any comments on the Formula One race before we move on? Start talking about NASCAR.
I don't, except to say that I really like the idea of Christian Horner coming over to INDYCAR, because then Ginger Spice might come to the US, and I would love that. So
why would you like that? I can't think. Why would you?
Yeah. Dating myself.
Safety in numbers.
Ginger's got to stick together.
Yeah.
I've got 2 ginger cats you can have if you want.
Yes, please. Love ginger cats.
I know. I've got covered my shirt, little shit.
I got nothing because I can't follow that up.
All right. So where are we off to next in F1?
God knows. On the show or in Formula
1? In Formula 1.
Okay, Singapore.
All right, that this coming weekend?
No, following weekend.
All right, so we'll do our picks next week. So NASCAR, it's playoff time. It's time, as one driver described it, those pesky yellow cars are at it again. Because it just seems like Team Penske, their modus operandi, they get their drivers a win throughout the season. They have a pretty okay season, but once the playoffs come in, they come alive. They've won the last 3 consecutive cups there. And here's Blaney, the first guy to punch his ticket into the round of 8. And Logano wasn't that far behind him on the track. Cindric still needs to bump it up a little bit, but he's still in it at this point, So, Lee, you get a chance to watch it?
I sure did. I mean, it's in my backyard. Hopefully I got to watch it right here from beautiful Loudon, New Hampshire.
Yeah. So watch
big
watch
backyard. How long does it take you to mow?
Not that long. I have one of those super fast ZTRs. The turning radius ones.
Yeah, Lee, why don't you take us through the NASCAR race a little bit?
That was all right. I mean, Loudon is Loudon. Flat track mile course. It was. I thought it was a halfway decent race. I don't think it was spectacular by any means, but the ending was nice. We got to see Joey Logano not win, because that's all I heard about all day was Joey being from Connecticut and how he loves this racetrack. And so I mean, all in all, it was a pretty good race. There was some wrecks, and you really put me on the spot, and I can't catch a complete thought to save my butt right now.
Okay, so. Yeah, I don't. Here's the thought. Well, I don't understand the hate for Joey Logano.
It's a Connecticut thing.
Yeah, but I mean across the board, people not from the Northeast can't stand Joey Logano.
Yeah,
I don't find him that controversial or offensive or whatnot.
Maybe because he's not.
I think he's quite a good driver.
Yeah. He maybe have a lot of hate because he is such a I don't want to call him goody two shoes, but he's a good boy. Like he's not like Brad Keselowski doesn't like. He's definitely not Denny Hamlin. He's not out there putting teammates.
Denny Hamlin's fun to hate.
Putting his own teammate in the wall.
Okay, Frank, let me ask you this because I was not satisfied with the answer that I got from these two yahoos last week. Why does everybody hate Denny Hamlin? Explain it to me. I don't get it.
Because he's a loudmouth and a crybaby.
All right.
Yep.
Also, in how many seasons he's failed to win a championship ever?
Yeah.
So
I think that one of the things with Joey Logano is, and I guess my take on it is the guy's won, is it 2 or 3 championships now? 3, I think, isn't it? 3. Is he a better driver than Kyle Busch? I'd say not. Is he a better driver than Denny Hamlin? Probably not. Is he a better driver than Brad Keselowski? Probably not.
Mm-mm.
And unfortunately, with the way that, and you can't blame the guy. It's like going to Vegas and counting cards. If you can do it and get away with it and win, then fair play to you.
There you go. Yeah.
That him and his team and the organization have worked out how to do what the aim of the game, win championships. And you can't knock the guy for it. But is he the best driver out there? No. I think he's top 10 at best.
But he's quite good,
He's good. He's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But he is not a generational talent.
He's not a
concept of the concept of 3 Cup Series championships would have you believe. He's a good, solid driver that will get the job done. He'll bring the car home on the Sunday. Yeah. And that's the team thing.
And that's Penske's strategy too.
They
work all year with those playoff races in mind, and it's been very successful for them. And Jessica,
100%.
The other thing about Denny Hamlin is Denny Hamlin loves to call out other drivers for behaviors that he displays himself.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's but I say it's fun to hate Denny Hamlin. I don't hate anybody in racing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just saying
if you're
that,
there, I have that level of respect for you.
Yeah.
There are guys I would prefer not to see win.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying that, when I went to the race here in St. Louis a few weeks ago, that, Hamlin won, and the boos, like I was blown away by
the boos, huh?
The boot, like how everyone hates Denny Hamlin, and it was I just I couldn't wrap my head around it.
I mean, and you have to look at this weekend.
You know what I mean? But if you ask any driver, do the boos bother you? You almost always hear the same answer, and I think the original one came from Dale Earnhardt. He goes, whether they cheer, whether they boo, it doesn't matter. He says, what would scare me is to hear nothing.
If they're not paying attention.
Yeah, if they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Joey Logano,
Yeah.
That would be rather get booed than, at least they're paying attention to what you're doing. So
yeah.
All right.
Denny Hamlin has haters because he does crap like he did this weekend, took out his own teammate.
Yeah, Richard, what's up with that?
On purpose.
Toyota guys can't play nice.
So we obviously, you can imagine we talked about this quite a lot. So I've got to be a little bit careful what I say, and this is my personal opinion on this. I think Denny was I'm not going to use the word justified in what he did, but it's 100% understandable. Ty Gibbs, obviously a young driver, a lot of talent, a lot of potential, not in the playoffs. He needs to be smarter in that situation. He has the ability to Denny was never going to win the race. This wasn't battling for,
Podium.
Tyler's first win, and I would understand maybe a little bit different if it was. So under those situations, to my mind anyway, Ty should be, okay, I need to let him through and I need to hold up the guy behind him. He shouldn't need telling that by his spotter or crew chief. He should be smart enough, hey, 11 cars behind. All right, I need to let him past.
Yep.
Not try and be fucking Mr. Hollywood and Billy Big Balls and try and show off in front of the TV cameras. No. Bit of humble pie, play the team game, and move on. And then Denny will come along, slap you on the back and say, hey, good job, bud. Thanks for the help. Next year, if the roles are reversed and, Gibbs is on the verge of getting his first win, then you'll remember that and help him out.
Yeah.
I think the fact he wrecked him was wrong.
Yeah.
I think he had every right to move him in a forceful way. And I think that I hope, retrospectively, Monday morning quarterbacking it, Ty will turn around and go, you know what? Yeah, I should have. And unfortunately, that's not in a race car driver's armory or vocabulary, But they've got to be a little smarter, and that you see the Ford guys play so well in these situations, and you saw it at the weekend. Blaney and Logano were battling for the win, but they never crossed a line. And that line can be anything. That line could be battling for a race win, helping your teammate get on pit road, doing something like that. And yeah, it just wasn't smart. And my opinion is hopefully he'll learn from it. The organization needs to learn from it, and we won't see a repeat of it moving forward.
Yeah. I think, okay, so Ty Gibbs, hold Denny up for like a lap or two. Race him for a lap or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't race him for 15 laps.
Yeah. At a track that's difficult to overtake. And again,
it's horrible
when you don't have the championship on the line, you're not in it. Right. You've had, and yeah, there's frustration there because obviously you had a very, very quick car at Bristol the weekend before and got unlucky with, some the brakes at the end of the race, which potentially cost him the win. But, we try and instill in our drivers, this is, as much as an individual sport, this is a team sport. And we put a lot of effort in as all the manufacturers do to be successful. And yeah, we'd love it for driver A, B, C, or D to win the championship. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to us. We will back whoever has the best chance of winning the championship. And at this particular moment in time, Ty cannot win the championship. So,
right, yeah,
he need, there needs to be a bit of smart going on there, I think. And whether I know publicly, coach said, "Oh, I'm going to let the drivers sort it out themselves." Now, whether privately he does turn around and talk to them, I imagine he will have done. And hopefully that went in the right direction there, and we don't see a repeat of it this weekend in Kansas.
All right. So, who do you like for Kansas?
I think 2311 have always been quick there the last few years, and it wouldn't surprise me if and they need to. They're both Bubba and Tyler are at the bottom of the standings in the playoffs at the moment, so they both need good weeks. This weekend in Kansas and the following weekend at the Roval. Obviously, we know Tyler's a great road course driver. Bubba can get around Kansas as quick as anybody.
He's going to win in Kansas, I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep,
so,
yeah. 2311 guys, all right.
Yeah, I'd hope, obviously slightly biased in that equation.
Well, yeah.
But I'd like to see, another dominant performance. And I think Kansas is basically you've got Kansas and Vegas left are the only two real genuine 1.5 mile ovals left. Everything else is short track, super speedway.
Yeah, they're the last of the cookie cutter
road course.
Schedule, yeah.
The odd thing that Phoenix is, however you want to describe that. So there's not many of the NASCAR bread and butter tracks left between now and the end of the year.
All right, Jess, who do you like for Kansas?
I like Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell, yep.
Yeah.
Lee.
I got no comment now that Christopher Bell's gone because he was going to be my pick.
Okay.
Thanks, Jess. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, you can take Kyle Larson then.
I'll take Denny Hamlin.
I'll take Joey Logano and say that we go ahead and lock both Penske's into the next thing. So, now speaking of Penske, Jessica, Ron Ruzeski, who was one of those guys that lost their jobs at Penske, has announced that he's picked up some work for next year. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us about that? He's got a pretty nice job lined up.
Sure does. I will have to find what the actual title is, but yeah.
Team principal.
Team principal. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love a revenge arc, and I feel like that's what we're in for, because now we've got Willpower, right, is pissed off that Penske was ready to put him out to pasture before he was ready to go. And then you got Ron Ruzewski's pissed off that he had to be one of the fall guys for all of this nonsense that happened around the 500. And these two gentlemen have landed together at the other like best resourced team on the grid in Andretti. And I just like, eat them up, boys. Like, bring it on. I think it's going to be quite a show next year.
Yeah, I'll bet Will was thrilled with that announcement.
I'm sure, and I wouldn't be
worked
surprised
with Ron
if,
for 17 years. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of his his doing as well in signing with Andretti to say, hey, I'd like Ron to come with me. So yeah. And good for him, right? I mean, we talked about this after the 500 that that whole situation sucked, and some good guys, some very smart guys, very tenured guys, had to take the fall for it, and Ron was one of them. So, good for him that he's landed somewhere.
Yeah, I still want to see where Tim Cindric lands, but.
If he wants to land anywhere,
if he wants to, who knows? He may end up in NASCAR. Who knows?
Yeah.
But what was I just getting ready to say? Something along that line there. Okay. Speaking of Andretti, so they now have a technical alliance with Dale Coyne Racing, which is exciting for Dale Coyne. They haven't had the benefit of a technical alliance like some of the other smaller teams have. In the past. And of course, what comes along with that is that Dennis Hauger, who won the Indy Next Championship for Andretti, will have a full-time ride in the Coyne car. So, and I just really kind of like these arrangements, because essentially it's, listen, we need to keep this guy in the series because we don't have a seat for him just yet, right? But if you give him a seat, we'll share technical information with you that will help your team. And we saw this with Penske and Foyt, with Malukas. They keep Malukas warm for us, keep him in the series. We saw with Andretti and Steinbrenner Harding, they took Colton Herta on for a year until they dispatched Zach Veach and moved Colton over to the Andretti team. And we're also seeing it with Marcus Armstrong.
Yep.
Who's being held for Ganassi by Meyer Shank Racing. So these are very beneficial arrangements.
Absolutely.
And I mean, here,
look, Dennis Hauger is no slouch either, right? Like he
killed it in Next last year.
Absolutely killed it. I looked this up earlier. 6 wins, further 5 podiums and 7 pole positions, and qualifying records at several tracks. In his rookie season in Indy Next, obviously went on to win that championship. I mean, yeah, impressive, extremely impressive, and nice guy. I don't know if we're still playing the little clip of him, but
we are.
Yeah. I chatted with him for a couple minutes at the victory lap celebration last week, and just a nice, down to earth young man, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what he can do up here with the big boys.
Yeah. Richard, your thoughts on these technical alliances that involve holding on to a driver?
Yeah, I think it's as you say.
Good idea, bad idea?
Yeah, I think it's a means to an end, isn't it? And obviously, you're limited in the number of seats you have in IndyCar. There's only so many seats available, and you want to give these kids a fair crack at it. You don't want to put them in for 2 or 3 races and then kick them out again. So I think it's a necessary evil, for want of a better word. I'm sure the teams would like to do it on their own back and on their own volition, but it's not always that easy. So it's an opportunity for them to secure the funding with a decent team and a decent driver who's got potential there. And it's like a AAA team for a Major League Baseball team, really.
Sure, yeah.
And he gets to see them in the flesh. And there's obviously always in the back of your mind, there's always the what's the word, skepticism of are they going to manipulate some result to help the parent team or vice versa? And it's a bit like the old Red Bull, AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, whatever they're called these days, dynamic. So motorsport is expensive, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get out there and be able to compete.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting though, if you think about it, it's kind of like almost adding an extra rung of the ladder, right? Like he's in the full-time IndyCar series now, but he's at a lower level team in waiting for one of those top teams in Andretti. So it's almost like adding an extra sort of level in there.
But
also
exactly.
Also, it does put a certain amount of pressure on the other guys that are there. If you're a 4-car team, or a 3-car team, and that, hey, we've got a partnership with team, a B team, and we've got this young kid who we're putting, time and money in there. So, hey, you better step up. And if you screw up, then, this guy's waiting in the wings to take your seat. So,
yeah. I mean,
even if you are willpower,
Yeah, notice on Marcus Ericsson, right? I mean, he's got to have a year in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So there was one NASCAR story we missed. I just wanted to bounce back to that real quick, and then we'll finish up the IndyCar news, and then we'll get into talking about the 4 wides at Charlotte. Randall Burnette at RCR. Richard, did you have a chance to work with Randall when you were at RCR?
No, he joined. I know of him. He joined afterwards. He's moving to Trackhouse to crew chief Connor Zillisch there.
Right, he's currently crew chiefing Kyle Busch.
I don't know the dynamics. I don't know if he was going to be leaving RCR at the end of the year anyway. Obviously, Kyle's struggled, especially this year. The last 2 years at RCR has not produced the results that he would have expected. I hate to say told you so, but told you so. That's an interesting dynamic. And another thing we haven't mentioned, and I think it broke after we recorded the show last week, was the settlement has been reached between Rick Ware Racing and Legacy Motor Club for their charter dispute regarding the leasing of the charter, which currently is used by Ryan Preece in the 60 car at Roush Fenway, Keselowski Racing. So all a little complex. We don't exactly quite know how it's all going to play out. Basically, it's shown that yet again, Rick Ware can't be trusted. I hate to say,
really?
I think, yeah, believe it or not. We'll see how that all falls out. I don't know if Legacy will have 3 cars next year, but I think they're definitely going to have 3 cars in 27. So we'll see how that all plays out.
How many charters are you allowed to have in NASCAR?
So
is it 3 or
3?
4?
It's 3, but Hendrick and Gibbs are grandfathered in with 4. But they're the only teams that are allowed to have 4 because they've always had 4.
It's kind of funny because we lost seats in IndyCar with the 3-car charter thing because Ganassi and Andretti were both running 4.
In NASCAR you can the max if it, like a new team comes along, the maximum they can have is 3.
Okay. All right. So,
they can run open cars, but it's 3 charters.
All right. And last week, we still didn't get the news on David Malukas, but I think you guys did the show on Wednesday and they announced it on Thursday, which
Sure
happens
did.
to us a lot. So, but yeah, David Malukas being a Penske car next year. He's getting settled in there. They've already got one piece of Malukas merch you can buy, which is a hat.
Cute
It's
little hat.
with DM and the number 12. So
yeah,
good
for him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Verizon is still on board as a sponsor.
I believe
that hat doesn't have a Verizon logo on it.
it does not, but the teaser for the announcement did show it was like a cell phone in a drawer, and it had the red V on it.
Okay.
So I believe, maybe not full time like they were with Power, but I believe they are at least on board.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good for him. I know there's been a lot of talk about, is he ready? Is he not? I think Marshall Pruitt had an interesting piece on Racer about this. And my sort of takeaway from that piece was like, if you think about the Penske that we expect to see, right, fighting at the front of the grid for championships, like, is Malukas ready to step into that role? Maybe not, but like, he's not stepping into that. He's stepping into the Penske that we saw in 2025, which struggled.
Yeah.
And
the guy that won a race is one they got rid of, huh?
Yeah. And is he, able to step into that team and help them build back to their winning ways? Maybe, maybe that's I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how, because Team Penske really, after they had to let some of their top guys go, they really struggled.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but they seem
frustration was evident, especially from Newgarden.
Yeah.
Well, Newgarden ended up winning the race, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he won Nashville.
Yeah.
So. And they really did. They seemed to sort of get it together a little bit toward the end of the season, and I think that was, it seemed to be really a relief for all of them, right? And I think Newgarden had said too, and maybe even in Iowa, that like it wasn't like they were finally showing the results that they knew they could produce, because a lot of the things that happened over the course of the season, right, were just like dumb luck and timing and not
pit
really
stops and
not all of their own doing. Right. Yes. But
and also towards the end of the season, when they started to get results, everybody else was on vacation.
Truth.
Yeah, Andretti was sat there. Andretti were polishing their trophy, and they've won the race. Yeah, good job, guys. Yeah, well done. Yeah,
Yeah. So, all right. So the first one-off driver for the 500 has been announced. Jessica, who was that?
Mr. Hollywood Harvey.
Hollywood Harvey.
Or as I like to call him Jedi Jack, because he's a big Star Wars fan.
He is a big Star Wars guy, yeah.
I love Jack Harvey. He was my first favorite IndyCar driver. He was the first die cast that I bought, the first T-shirt that I bought. So yeah, soft spot for Jack Harvey. So he will be back with Dreyer and Reinbold Racing in a one-off entry for the Indy 500. Interesting that there is no mention of Cusick Morgan Motorsports in.
I think Cusick Morgan is doing a full season in Indy next. Mm-hmm. But last I talked to Don, he's still thinking about the 500, but it might not necessarily be with Dreyer Reinbold. It might actually be with McLaren.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this announcement, I think if Cusick Morgan were involved, they would have been mentioned in this announcement.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think, I think we can expect something else from them in terms of their Indy 500.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Lee.
Yes, sir.
4 wides in Charlotte. I know you guys are arguing whether they were 2 wides or 4 wides.
4 wide.
Yeah. I've got to step away for a second, guys. Bear with me.
Okay.
Double the it's like double mint gum there, double trouble. So 4 wides.
Okay, so help me. So does this literally just mean like there's 4 cars.
Four
on the
cars
track
instead
at
of
the
two
same
Racing
time.
cars.
it once.
Okay.
Yep. 4 cars
All right.
racing it once instead of
That
2.
sounds terrifying. Okay.
Oh, it's
cool.
horrible.
All right. Neat.
It's twice as loud as what you think
Yeah.
it is because there's 4 of them, and it's for the first couple years they've done it was really kind of cool, but I think the novelty has wore off a little bit because it's confusing to say the least, and I think it's kind of lost some appeal, but they do it twice during the regular season and once in the championship or in the countdown. So, starting with Pro Stock Motorcycles, believe it or not, we're 2 races into the championship, the playoffs, and our man Gage Herrera has not won a race yet.
I don't know. I don't know why he's chosen to let me down like that.
I don't know. Like, he goes and wins every race in the regular season, pretty much. We get to the playoffs, and he's literally falling flat on his face.
Yeah, somebody needs to give him a different playbook.
Yeah. So
Sunday,
Sunday,
or he's reading it backwards.
He is all over the promotional material for they're coming here to St. Louis this weekend. And he is all over everything, the billboards and everything.
Yep. And I mean, because he's excellent, but he's just, when you're supposed to peak, he is not doing that. He is like the opposite.
He's the anti-Joey Logano.
Yeah, he's falling down. But Richard Gatson, his teammate, did pick up a win. Richard, pretty good guy, good race car driver. He's been pretty consistent. So in the standings for Pro Stock Motorcycles, let's see, Gage is sitting in 4th place, 71 points behind his teammate Richard Gatson. So then we move over to Pro Stock, which is Dallas Green. He won. That puts him in the lead in the playoffs over Greg Anderson by 79 points. Then we get into the fun and the really loud, fast cars, as we call them. Austin Prock picked up a win this weekend. He is 79 points ahead of our show favorite, Matt Hagan. And as we mentioned earlier, Tony Stewart, last week we did not know what his plans for the 2026 season are, but he did release that he is going to be driving a car next year, and I completely forget what car he's driving for. It's newer team that's kind of being absorbed into Tony Stewart Racing, so they will have 2 funny cars, 2 top fuel dragsters for next year. Tony and Leah will both be driving.
Will he be competing against his wife?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like John Force competing against his kids.
Yeah.
And John Force competed against his 4 daughters. Well, 3 of his daughters. He has 4 daughters. He competed against 3 of them at one time. Like, Brittany was still in top fuel, but then Courtney and Courtney's sister, they both ran funny car. So it was he's racing against his kids, which was odd.
That is odd.
Yeah, it's an interesting
well, you think
dynamic.
About Mario and Michael, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention exactly that. Because Mario would say he hated if Michael would beat him, but he was proud that Michael beat him. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's because as a racer, you always want to win.
Yeah.
But as
I don't know.
a dad,
I feel like against your spouse is a different.
I know, right? Really against your spouse.
Yeah, against your kids. Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like,
gonna go against my kids.
I mean, when you
and your spouse.
How's the talking in the bed that night?
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. But
hey, race I had today, honey. Shut up.
Did you see that Wally over on my bedstand tonight, honey?
That's interesting.
At least they can't wreck each other.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, if they're racing next to each other, they can.
Yeah.
So, and then in Top Fuel, Mr. Justin Ashley, he won this past weekend in the 4 wides. That moves him into 2nd place in the playoffs, 38 points behind Doug Coletta. So, and then, like Jeff says, next weekend we are off to the Midwest Nats in Madison, Illinois. So that ought to be fun, and we're getting close.
Is that at Gateway, or is there a separate drag strip?
No,
it's at Gateway. It's behind the
It's usually where most people park when they go to the races at Gateway. It's just it's parking lot, and then they clean off the dirt and make it a straight track. So
okay, cool.
They race on that all the time, though. I mean, they do like amateur stuff. What are they, Wide Open Wednesdays or something like that they call it. They race out there at like midnight on Wednesday nights. It's really interesting. They do all sorts of stuff out at that track. But there's ton of promotion. I'm seeing it everywhere. So hope that's
I feel like Gateway has always been like really good with their promotion of their races.
I did not realize, Lee, that this stuff was as highly attended as it is. I was talking to a friend who said that this will be probably higher attendance than the IndyCar race.
Yeah, and I've always preached this constantly. If you go to a NHRA race, like the tickets are $40 typically on average, and you're seeing
a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and it gets you a pit pass. Like your ticket is a pit pass.
Yeah,
so you can go and you can walk right up to the rope. And, the drivers are there. They come out, they start their cars. They're literally feet from you. A lot of times the drivers will come up to the rope and they'll sign autographs and take pictures. And, it's a very fan-friendly thing. It is the loudest thing you'll ever experience in your life. Richard can attest to that. There's nothing like it. And like, I said with Asher, when he's, in his double-digit years, take him to a race.
For sure.
Because
I'm gonna have to take myself first. I've never been.
Make sure if you do get behind and you go to pit lane, bring like a handkerchief with you, because the cars will make you cry.
Oh, geez.
And that is because the nitromethane that they burn gets into your mucus in your eyes and your nose, and you will cry.
Sounds like a fun time.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, you're selling so well.
Sign me the hell up. What time does it start on Friday? I'll be there.
And then when you get up in the stands and you watch two of these cars go down at 300 miles an hour, and they go by you, and you can't feel your chest is just pounding from the exhaust and the concussion coming off the cars. It's incredible, and you'll be like, okay, I got to go every weekend now. And you'll go, and it's addictive. It really is.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Yep. I mean, even the crying.
It's an assault on the senses, to say the truth, Liz.
Yeah, it really is. Even the crying is worth it, because you're going to leave and you're like, that was awesome.
Well, see, I wasn't going to go this weekend, but now.
Well, $40, and now you got to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I think that's our time. I wasn't sure how much time we lost when we had the internet thing, but it's 9:06. So, did we have any topic we didn't touch on?
No, I think so.
No, I think we pretty much got it all. So, with that said, I will thank ERA Racing, Fox NASCAR on Fox, iRacing NASCAR 25. Remember, Sinister One Productions will be at the PBR shows coming up in both Boston and New Hampshire. Again, thanks to Million Podcast. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Jessica. Thanks to Sinister One Productions and our fine producer, Mr. Keith Hayes, who had to jump through some hoops tonight to get us back on after they took out internet in the neighborhood. But, his MacGyver-like skills there got us back up there. So, all right, I want to thank Facebook Live, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Most of all, I want to thank those of you that listen to us and support us. And until next week, good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Drafting the Circuits. Make sure to follow Drafting the Circuits on Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. Drafting the Circuits is a Sinister One production.